Hello, everybody out there in internet land. It's your girl Candid with Candace. Yes, it has been a very long time since I have posted under that moniker, and I'm bringing it back, and here's why. Um, the moniker is Candid with Candace, and when things happen in your life, especially rare things happen in your life, medically rare things, um you end up learning new stuff. Let's just be honest, us being humans, there are just some medical things we just don't know about or don't really pay a lot of attention to because it's just not common. Well, me and my family, we find ourselves in an extremely unique situation. My daughter LaBethany, bless her heart, we have discovered that she actually has two rare conditions. Yes, this is something that we just found out recently. And it's taken me a while. I've been trying to figure out how to say it and express it. Of course, I went through my family first, and I still just sat on it. Um, but awareness is key. Something similar to like when we're dealing with Kennedy and his autism. As he grows, things continue to change and all that stuff. And when he was first diagnosed, he wasn't even 2 years old. And autism, believe it or not, at that time they still were trying to figure out exactly what is autism. Do we really diagnose for autism? But now, time has passed. He's 16. Time has passed. Way more awareness. But now before I had Kennedy, I was not one that was, just, it's autism. Well, it did not affect me personally. And that's just life. Life is busy enough as it is. And it is hard to just kind of think of outside things or other things, especially when it doesn't affect you. But we are in a position now where we find ourselves in that category yet again with my daughter, LaBethany. LaBethany has two rare conditions. The biggest one, the major condition, is what's called Cushings. Okay, Cushings. And the second one is I hate to call it a minor condition, but it is exasperated because of the Cushings. And it's Pyoderma Grangrenosum. So let me say the quiet part out loud. Are these conditions, quote unquote, deadly? Are these conditions really harmful? Let me put it to you like this. My daughter's only 28, and already twice she's had sepsis. Yeah, twice, and she's only 28. When my child went to college, University of Alabama, Roll Tide, yes, she gained weight like nobody's business. At first, we just assumed, the freshman 15. But by the time she graduated college, y'all, my child was 400 pounds. We're just being honest about it. She was almost 400 pounds. As a matter of fact, I had actually threatened her senior year, I threatened her. I told her, I said, hit 400 if you want to. I said, I'm taking you out of school. But she was close. She was very, very close to 400. And I was looking at her, and just through the years, she would get these bruises out of nowhere. Like, where these bruises coming from? And we had started making a joke about it. She would say, Mama, look, ain't nobody abusing me. Da, 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 da. But look. And every time I was sick, she had a new bruise. Well, the last 3 years medically have been really, really rough on her. Finally, earlier this year, a doctor finally said, I want to test you for Cushing's. And this is no lie, I was on the phone with her. And when the doctor said it, I said, holy, because I've heard of Cushing's before. And when that doctor said that, I was like, oh my goodness, you're right. I said, LaBethany has all the signs for Cushing's. But once again, because it's not something that you encounter on a day, and your average doctor is not going to just say, "Oh, I'm going to test you for Cushing's." That's not something you just go for, okay? But thank you, Jesus, for this doctor. She said, "I want to test you for Cushing's." It's a long process. And while they was testing for Cushing's, they was noticing how bad she heals. That's the secondary condition. Um, just not being able to heal, just having pieces of her flesh honestly not come back together. This is no joke. LaBesson has a lot of scars, and definitely on her legs. Once again, just didn't know why it was like that. But that's the Pyoderma Grangrenosum. But that once again that got detected after they first said let's test for Cushing's, and while they was testing for Cushing's, that's when the I want to call it PDS. Okay, so we're gonna just short it to PDS. That's where they was like, we need to test you for PDS. Because once again, we're talking about a 28-year-old who has had sepsis twice. Okay, so both came back positive. Now, believe it or not, y'all, we're actually happy. And here's why we say this. Because for years, we just didn't know what was going on. Why was she gaining so much weight? Why she's a diabetic now. Why was all these things out? What was going on? So we had years of quote unquote mourning, if you will. Now, don't get me wrong. Do we still have our moments even? Yeah. She's not the only one. She'll call me and she's like, "Mama," and I'm like, "Baby, feel how you feel." And me being her mother, I have my side quest moments, if you will, where I think about my child. Because let's just be honest, as parents, it don't matter how old your child is. That's your baby. That's your baby. And that's my baby. When I say that when it comes to my children, I am so grateful for my children. Okay. Um, and I have unique children. Ta-da! But with that being said, I'm coming back because for those that have seen my Facebook page, I had a hit song, "Life is Life," and because life is life, go check it out. Anyway, and these last few years, definitely the last 3 years, life has been kicking. Okay, life has been kicking up dust. Okay, but you know what? We have been fighting, and we have been loving the whole way. We have made our business to continue to learn and to grow, and that's where we're at now. So, I'm bringing this up because I will be bringing back my Candid with Candace era, and more so in regards to going through the process with me of learning my child and the issues that she has going on, and learning of ways to help alleviate what she has going on with her. Give you guys updates on her and on me because I'm me. And just showing that through the good times, through the bad, whatever the case may be, that we can do it with grace, with happiness. It is still what y'all. It is still well. Will we still have our yes, we're human. We're going to cry. We're going to be sad. Blah blah blah. You know, times get tough. But as I continue to learn about my child's conditions and things of that nature, I want to share these with you all because once again, the PDS and the cushion, this is not something that just shows up every day. Like I said, your average doctor, your primary caregiver, more than likely is not going to, just say, "Ooh, let's set this cushion," because that is a long process. And my child had to have so many biopsies when they were testing her for the PDS. So, like I said, now that we have the answers. Now we are learning how to live differently in regards to her care. And when I say I'm here for it, yes, I am. Because I have a child that I love, and she loves hard. And in honor of her spirit, I and the rest of the family are here to support her journey. And in supporting her journey, like I said, just kind of get some information out there, because you just never know who else might have something unconventional going on with them, and who knows, there may be some information I give, a recipe, a cleaning, because we have to be careful with her cleaning solutions now. What she does around her house, yes, we have to be careful of, because literally right now she's dealing with her an infection in the leg, right? All the girl did was pick up a frozen bag of chicken out the deep freezer. It dropped on her leg. Infection. So, as we continue to learn how to navigate and how to do things and how to make things, easier for her, the earlier stages are always the harder stages, because it's a learning process. But see, as we learn and as we grow, these things do get easier. So, prayerfully, our journey and what we tell you guys of what we're learning and this, that, and the other will be of some benefit for other things. It just might. If anything, you guys will definitely be entertained by me. Anyway, you guys, I love you. And I've always been so appreciative of you guys, how you guys, talk back to me and all that stuff. Keep it up. At this point in time, yes, the uplifting, the positive, all that stuff, it is needed, and it's so appreciated for those that have already been reaching out to us. Like I said, the family knows, and the closer, of the friends, they know. So thank you. You guys have a wonderful. Kennedy, you ain't got no clothes on, baby. That's my boy. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you for listening. And yeah, keep in touch, so I can have some updates for you. Bye.